Sophia are about to start the wheelbarrow race. Let's pick a wheelbarrow. Say, Twaycha.
Twaycha.
I'm a lot of things, but as a dad, I've become very skeptical of any bit of technology that promises to make screen time productive. So, when an AI-powered language learning device for kids landed on my desk, I told them I was not going to take a look at or even promote something that I didn't test extensively with my own family. It was a 2-week minimum that I had to test it. No script, no contract, nothing until I actually believed in it. What I didn't expect was my 6-year-old daughter to be the one who convinced me. Before I tell you about Dex, I do want to tell you what I can do for you. Give you a chance to win $500. Super easy. All you gotta do is leave a comment down below, watch the video all the way through, give it a thumbs up. We'll let this run for 10 days, open to anyone in the world. All the information you need though will be down below. So when Dex reached out about a sponsorship, anything with my kids I'm very protective about. I told them that I wanted to kind of learn more, and if I could, I could set up a Zoom with the CEO before I'd even consider it. The CEO, Rettinger, flew down from San Francisco for the day and met me for lunch. And I had a chance to ask him every question that I could think of, but the biggest one that I wanted to ask was, why can't this just be an app? His response, I thought, resonated. So he said phones aren't designed for kids. The size, ergonomics, sort of nothing about it is meant for a child. What I wanted to build, this is him talking, was something purpose-built from the ground up for how kids hold devices, how they learn, how they explore. He didn't want this to just be another app on a device full of distractions. He wanted to tap into, he called it their superpower of language. Instead, if they do it right, they don't even realize that they're learning. Then he said something that hit me most as a dad. He said language isn't just for communication, it's for family. It's sort of the smaller languages that a grandparent speaks, the ones that won't get passed down unless someone bridges that gap. And there's a missing piece between your family's history and you. And language is one of the way. I think language and food actually is another way to sort of bridge that family gap and kind of discover a little bit more about who you are. And I sat with that for a while, because here's what I know as someone who covers tech. Every device is designed with intent. Some are built to maximize engagement, keep you scrolling, occupy like every free moment, your thumb doing this. They are engineered to be addictive. But what if you built something different? What if you designed a device that respected the kind of proportion that kids need? Kind of enough stimulation to engage them, but not so much that it overstimulates or gets them addicted. So 3 weeks ago, my 6-year-old Olivia walked up to me holding this camera-looking device and asked me to switch it from Spanish to Chinese. And I asked her why. She looked at me with complete sincerity and told me, there's a girl in my class who speaks Chinese who likes to tell secrets, and I want to know what she's saying, but I don't want anyone to know that I'm learning. So I'm standing there, watching my kid who usually needs me to push her to do anything educational, ask me to help her learn one of the hardest languages on earth because she's intrinsically curious. Not because I told her to, not because it's for school, but because she actually wanted to. And I realized I was watching something that I didn't fully understand. She wasn't just playing with a toy. Her brain, kids' brains, are wired to absorb language in a way that mine and adults just aren't anymore. Kids can hear sounds and patterns that I cannot distinguish, and that window does not stay open forever. And this is a very different kind of device that requires a very different kind of review, because it's not about specs, it's not about screen resolution or processor or benchmarks or any of that. It's about whether we should be giving our kids AI devices or screens at all, and if we do, what should those devices actually, what should they do, what should they be designed to do? Kids ages 3 to 8 hold this handheld camera and they snap a photo of any object. And Dex identifies that object and speaks a full sentence in their target language. Built-in voice recognition lets them repeat the sentence back and then get instant feedback on their pronunciation. And there's a lot more than just a camera mode. They've got story modes. There's intrinsic stories where the kids respond to characters and languages that they're learning. There are flashcard games that turn vocabulary practice into play. Plus it's got built-in LTE, so it works anywhere without Wi-Fi. No app required. Everything runs on the device itself. So we tested it. 3 different kids, 3 different ages, 3 different households. So my daughter Olivia, who's 6, JD's daughter Sophia, who's 4, and Courtney's daughter Harlow, who's 5. They are like square in the demographics for this device. We gave them decks for weeks and then just kind of watched what happened. So on day one with Olivia, I did forget to set a language though. There's a companion app. You could pick the language you want to set it to learn. I just kind of handed it to her. She started pointing at her dogs and the pool and her toys and just talked to her in English, like full sentences, responded back to her. I told her what things were, asked her questions back. She absolutely loved it. It was not the intended use. She was just kind of hooked on it and she just kind of carried it around with her like it was a friend. Day two, I switched it to Spanish. She started walking around the house pointing at everything, the couch, the refrigerator, her backpack, our dogs, and I would tell her the word in Spanish, use it in a sentence, and she'd repeat it back. And when she got the pronunciation close enough, she'd get a little ding, and when she was off, it would very gently correct her. Day three, when she asked for Chinese, and from kind of that point on, she carried it pretty much everywhere, teaching herself colors, numbers, animals. Not because I made her, not because I told her you gotta spend 30 minutes studying and learning languages, because she wanted to.
Dex?
What are you doing with Dex?
I'm taking pictures.
Oh yeah? What are you taking pictures of?
My breakfast?
Yeah?
That's Dex and everything.
No, that's a piece of bread. In Chinese, we call it 面包. Can you say 面包?
Meatball.
Will she be fluent in Chinese someday? Probably not from this, but she's not afraid to try, and she's not embarrassed to get it wrong. I thought that was really cool. She just kind of went for it. JD's daughter, Sophia, is 3.5, and when he handed her the device within 30 seconds, she understood how to use it. The size was right for her hands. It's shaped like a handheld camera with 2 buttons and the handle. One launches the camera view, one brings up the menu with stories and games. She started running around the house, giggling, taking pictures of everything, listening to a little elephant character respond to her. Here's the thing that got JD's attention. She did this for 2 hours straight. I got the text saying, this is wild. She never focuses on anything this long. A week later, he switched her to Spanish. 20 words, just from playing is what she learned, from pointing the camera at toys and furniture and snacks and hearing them come back to her in another language. But Courtney's experience with Harlow, I thought was actually the most important because it was maybe the most candid. So Harlow is 5 and she was excited at first, like any new toy, but after a few weeks, she'd forget to grab it. It wasn't an all-consuming thing. It wasn't sort of designed to be like an iPad. They started using it as a supplement, 20 minutes a day after homework, replacing some iPad time. And the 20-minute window, that was kind of by design. The whole point is enough to engage and learn, but not enough to overstimulate. Sort of the moment that got Courtney's attention, though, was when Harlow's grandparents came over. They are fluent native Spanish speakers. They grew up in Spanish-speaking homes, and then they heard the device's pronunciation, and they heard the accent. Not just generic Spanish, but a specific Mexican dialect Courtney had selected from the 26 different regional variants. And that was something that was very impressive to them. Native speakers immediately know when something sounds wrong, and these grandparents, ones who represent this cultural connection to that family language that might not get passed down, gave it their approval. And that was kind of when Rennie's words started to click. Language is for family. And that's also when I started to understand why this window in kids' lives matters so much. There's actual neuroscience here. It's called the critical period hypothesis. Kids' brains develop differently than ours, obviously. Little sciencey here. The prefrontal cortex, the part that handles planning, overthinking, executive function, develops slower. And for language learning, that's a huge advantage. They absorb patterns without analyzing them. They hear phonetic distinctions we can't hear anymore. But the window for accent-free pronunciation, that closes around like 6 or 7. Now here's where I need to be honest, I guess, with you guys watching this, because if you're still watching, you're probably wondering about the practical stuff. And I think there are real considerations here. First is $250. That is not cheap. But having handhelds for a lot of kids and tech over years, I can tell you the build quality definitely justifies that price. It's not a flimsy plastic toy. It's going to break in the first second the kid drops it. And Olivia dropped this many times. It feels solid. The screen is responsive. It's clearly designed to survive life with a 4 to 6-year-old. And as an early adopter, I got the product with a full year of LTE data included, no subscriptions, no additional language packs to buy. That means your kid can use it anywhere, at the park, in the car, at a restaurant, at grandma's house, anywhere, no Wi-Fi. When you compare that to language tutors that, I don't know, language tutors cost, but say $50-$60 an hour, or immersion schools earn hundreds of thousands of dollars, the long-term value makes sense. Now, it's not going to replace those things, but you can start to see why the price can make a little bit more sense. $250 is more of an investment. It's also not going to occupy your kid for hours. Courtney mentioned Harlow's on it for 20 or 30 minutes a day. That's it. And for some parents, that is a perfect guilt-free learning time that doesn't turn into a battle. For others who need something to keep their kid busy for longer stretches, it might feel limiting. Courtney also said that battery life with heavy use meant charging it daily, but it does charge fast. Dead at 60% on like a 45-minute drive across town. Privacy piece was also really important to me. It was designed to be COPPA compliant, and that is a Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So 0 data retention, no images stored on servers, everything processed locally or encrypted if it goes to a cloud. I can see Olivia's vocabulary lists in the parent app, how many words she's learned, which stories she's engaged with, but I cannot see actual photos that she's taking. And I think that that is probably the right balance. I get to see her progress, but nobody else sees anything. It is a fully closed system. No browser on it, no app store, no YouTube rabbit holes, no ads, just camera mode, story mode, flashcard games. It's not trying to be everything. It's trying to do one thing really well. And I want to be clear though, this is not going to make your kid fluent by itself. If your goal is complete fluency, this is a supplement, not a replacement for immersion or just human interaction. But it does give kids exposure. It gets them comfortable making sounds in another language. It teaches them that learning as a language isn't scary, it's fun. And families trying to preserve heritage languages, that's where things really shine. It supports 11 languages right now with 26 dialect variants, not just Spanish, but Mexican, Colombian, Cuban, Puerto Rican, not just Mandarin, but mainland, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia variants. Arabic has Egyptian, Gulf Levantine, and Modern Standard. And the bigger question, whether we should give AI-powered devices to kids at all, I think it depends entirely on what the device is designed to do. Is it built to exploit their attention and keep them hooked? Is designed sort of with their development in mind, with built-in limitations, with a purpose beyond just engagement? Because at the end of the day, this isn't really about the device. It's about what it enables. It's about bridging the gap with a grandparent who speaks a language that might not get passed down. It's about watching your kid at an age where their brain is wired for this and giving them a tool that respects that. The team has also mentioned they're continuing to roll out new features and languages and software updates. It's going to keep this device getting better. If you do want to learn more, check it out. Link is in the description. Offering the first 3,000 families, a year free of LTE data, and a 90-day return window if you want to test it. It gives you time to sort of see if it's right for your kid. I don't know what secrets Olivia's classmate is telling, but I am really glad that my daughter's curious enough to want to find out.